Published 1830 EDT, the 6th of October 2017. Updated 2017 EDT, the 6th of October 2017. Danny Mac, 29, pictured right with his fiancée Carley Stenson, revealed that he believes not winning Strictly was for the best. Strictly curse. What Strictly curse if actor Danny Mac didn't run off with his lithe and lovely professional partner Oti Mabuse last year, then perhaps there's hope after all. Most of us will have vivid memories of Danny, bare-chested, arms flailing, performing one of the show's most sizzling routines ever. His raunchy samba with Oti was hot stuff, even for the famously unshockable judges. Bruno Tonioli likened what had just seen to a pagan mating ritual. How must it have felt to be his fiancée, fellow actor Carley Stenson, in the audience? Well, thankfully, she can't have been too distraught to see her husband be in the throes of such passion, because this August the pair finally tied the knot. Did they recreate that particular dance routine for their wedding guests, with Carley taking the female lead? Well, no. In fact, Danny laughs uproariously at the idea, presumably because no wedding dress could survive that sort of excitement. No, we had a very traditional first dance. No big set piece. We kind of shuffled round, like most couples do. Oh, what a shame. No, it suited us, he objects. We're quite ordinary, we just wanted everything to be ordinary. Danny, 29, and Carley, 35, have been together since 2011. They met on the set of Hollyoaks and have always been used to quite low-level attention, but his appearance on Strictly last year shot them to another level. His wedding pics even made their way into Hello magazine. It's the weirdest thing, he admits. Before, I was recognized mostly by young people. Now, it's everyone, grannies, very young kids. I didn't really watch Strictly before I was in it, and I'm not sure I was aware of the breadth of that audience. Danny was back at work 3 days after the wedding, rehearsing for a national tour of Sunset Boulevard, Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical version of the 1950 Billy Wilder film about a faded film star desperate to regain her former glory. Danny plays the male lead, Joe Gillis, the impoverished screenwriter who gets sucked into the life of the star, Norma Desmond. Meanwhile, his new wife is in Les Miserables in the West End. No honeymoon yet, Danny says. We'll get round to that later. He didn't actually lift the coveted glitter ball last year, losing out to sports presenter Oduba in the final. Not that Danny uses the word lose. I always say I didn't lose, or won. And Oti and I won on the Strictly tour, so I got a version of the trophy. My mum has it on her dining table, so every time I go home I see it in all its glory. Somehow his mum's delight in seeing her son on Strictly summed up the Strictly experience. His mum sounds anything but ordinary. Given that she works as a nurse in a hospice, it does give you perspective, Danny says. I do sometimes think, what good is my job to anyone? But she threw herself into the Strictly shebang, even dressing the family dogs in mini-suits to match what Danny was wearing on the show. Now he reveals that the joy of watching him compete couldn't have come at a better time. His mum and dad had split up not long before, and as he puts it, she'd been through a hard time. Strictly was brilliant for giving her something to laugh about. He is now heading the cast of Sunset Boulevard, which is a role he was offered before his added success in Strictly. But did he genuinely not mind not winning? I actually think it was probably best for my career that I didn't win, he says. I mean, or we'll never be able to get away from the Strictly winner thing, even if it's been the making of him. Yet there's no denying that Strictly opens doors. The fact Danny is now heading the cast of Sunset Boulevard might not seem linked to his Strictly success. He was offered the part before he signed up for the show, but in a way it is. I said no when they first offered the part, because I didn't think I could play it. I mean, it's epic. I'm on stage for pretty much the whole thing. Thank God they waited, though, because when they asked again, I'd been through Strictly, put myself in another situation where I wasn't sure I'd be a success, and my mindset was different. I thought, why not? What do I have to lose? Maybe I can do this. I didn't really watch Strictly before I was in it, and I'm not sure I was aware of the breadth of that audience. Sunset Boulevard isn't his first venture onto the stage. In fact, he acted in the West End aged 11, in his first professional role. Coincidentally, it was in Les Miserables too, as Gavroche. But despite that prodigious start, his background is very, here's that word again, ordinary. His dad was a fruit and veg trader, so it's fair to say acting wasn't in his blood. When he was offered a place at drama school, he wasn't sure he'd be able to take it up. The fees were £13,000. My family didn't have that sort of money. I applied for his scholarship, and got it, thankfully, but if I hadn't, I don't know what I'd have done. He came across as quite the strutting peacock on Strictly. He blames the Cuban heels, but in the flesh is self-effacing, even shy. He's the male celebrity with the highest series average score in the history of the program, though, which is quite something. Has you been watching this year's show to assess whether he could be knocked off his perch? I've seen enough to be blown away by the standard, he says, singling out the routines of Aston Marigold and Debbie McGee. But it's such a strong field. It's wide open. This year Oti has been getting up close with the Paralympian Yanni Peacock. I think Oti thought she'd get a comedy act this year, so it's been brilliant for her, says Danny. It's been interesting to see how they've worked together because they are both used to winning. They're both very competitive. And pity poor Johnny's girlfriend, 400 meters Paralympian Sally Brown, who's been having to watch. Maybe Danny's new missus offered her a few tips. For details of Danny's show visit actor.sunsetboulevardthemusical.com. Strictly Come Dancing, tonight, 6:35 p.m., BBC One.